Hey, what's up guys? This is Poker Express, and we are back with another episode of Poker Hands. Before getting into it, I would like to ask you guys to hit the like button and subscribe if you enjoy our videos. Let's jump straight into the action.
The kind of hand I see all the young guys 3 and 4 bet pre-flop with when they get the king queens. They love that hand.
Well, it's a good hand to bluff with pre-flop because obviously you block ace, king, ace, queen, and kings and queens. So, wow, what a flop for him.
Oh, boy.
And look at this, Tony G with top pair.
Yep, Tony G has the best hand, but...
You see the percentage-wise, he's 1% behind. And wow, Mustafa checks back, obviously thinking he either has way the best of it or he's behind. So.
Wow. I can't believe this has gone check, check twice.
Wow. And
Tony G is going to bite the dust here, but now he's going to bet when he's beat. He checked when he had the best hand twice. Now he bets with the worst hand, but...
And it's going to be hard when Mustafa raises him to believe that Mustafa actually has a hand because most people would bet a flush draw on this flop or at least by the turn.
Yeah.
It's going
to look like he's got aces up with a king kicker.
Yeah, at best.
If he raises you here.
But even then you'd expect him maybe to bet that on the flop or turn. Certainly by the turn, so this really doesn't make much sense.
Yeah, Tony G in a tough spot right now. Can he make this lay down the way this hand was played? Remember, it was checked on the flop. It was checked on the turn. Now all of a sudden he's getting raised on the river when the 4 of diamonds comes up.
But at the same time, how can he ever have a hand that wants to raise? I guarantee you Tony's thinking more likely he's got a hand like king's full than just a flush.
No, he could have pocket 4s. That's what I'd probably put him on.
Not that. No, it's not that. He just uses another, just start the clock again.
His hand is not dead when the clock runs out as long as you have time buttons. They just take an extra button away from you.
And he's lost the button there because he was happy to fold.
Jeremy's he's opening wider than anybody right now from under the gun. And this counts as a big hand, 5-handed.
Yeah.
The 3 players that we've lost that were besides Jacob, most capable of the 3-bet. With there, I'd like to think that
and another few of the 7,000 or 8,000 who played this tournament,
well,
whose names we temporarily forgotten.
Oh boy!
This is a split pot a lot of the time, though. You know, I mean, it's
not as
it isn't yet, but
I bet you it's
not as often as you think, Barney.
Well, no, you're right. Actually, it has to come 2 big cards, doesn't it? So. Yeah, Jeremy's in a very good. This is horrible for Maria. So he's gonna bet small.
Yeah. She may well avoid doing maximum damage.
Yeah.
And she can always get out of
We've seen her escape tactics today.
A heart. I'm going to say a heart will be. Well, he's got the heart. I mean, he's betting again, isn't he? He's got a heart in his hand too.
Oh wow.
Well, it got him.
From what we've seen.
Yeah,
she's a fan of the small. I mean, what I do like about this girl's play is, well, first of all, the way she's been playing, but secondly, the composure she's shown. I mean, you know, this is the big stage. It's huge pressure, but she always looks calm and thinks the whole thing through.
Oh, this is horrible for her.
Well. What is Jeremy thinking? I mean, he knows she's calling. He knows she's not calling her.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah. That's right.
And he's losing to the flush.
And he's seen how she played those kings.
I mean, think about it this way.
You're right. That could stand to her for sure.
What does he expect to get called by here? Maybe she'd still beat him.
I think you're right. I think it's. Well, oftentimes this is checked, and well, no, he's.
I'd say about 50 million would be.
I mean,
that's nice.
It's a pretty good bet by him when you take all that into account, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it though?
I don't know really.
Is it against this?
I actually feel like she's much more likely to have a hand that, if I'm sitting in his shoes, I'm actually thinking she's more likely to have a hand that beats me if she calls.
I say, oh,
no, it won't.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I know the reason I was laughing is because
maybe she thought he had he thought she had like jacks or something like that, but
maybe she did have jacks.
But you know,
Maybe she did have jacks. That's interesting, Barney. Or 7s or 8s or 6s. Yeah, that's.
It's not never that she has these kind of hands. I think he felt like he had to. He felt like he had to get some value. But
what are the rules?
Yeah, I think that's one of these. I'm not exactly sure of his background. I did try to look into him the other day. I didn't find too much. If someone does know, then let me know. You know, he has a.
Oh my God!
well, look at this, and it's good. It's a good. This is why Bryn folded the Queen at clubs.
Oh yeah, you know, no, he's gonna would have hit a flush, mate. Keith might check back here actually because he has the board crushed.
Timothy flopping bottom 2. Keith top set.
But I mean, I obviously should bet seeing the cards and stuff, but he has checked back, yeah. 9 of spades here. See, Bryn would have had a gutter to go with it. Try to tell me the river isn't the 10 of diamonds, mate. I just don't believe you.
Well, Timothy's surely to go broke in this hand.
Yep. I mean, he just can't get away here.
Question of how much to bet. He has 14 seconds left to make a decision, or he'll burn one of those black time chips he has there next to his poker chips. And this is the case of your Keith. You're like, please bet, please bet, please bet. Yes, he's bet. Got him.
He's bet pretty chunky as well.
Leaving himself 285,000 behind.
Keith will keep up the pretense and just call, or whether he'll just spring the trap now and hope, because you know a lot of scare cards can turn like an 8 or a 10 or a club, you know.
Yeah, there are a number of action killers. He'll be hoping for a nice low card on the river.
Timothy has a few cards that you can get away on.
That is not one of them.
Ain't one of them. Yeah, the last few super high rolls I've put with Timothy in as well, he has just been like probably one of the most unlucky players I've ever seen as well. He's just out of everyone in Rosbudov, just in ridiculous spots every time, just things like this.
When he does shove, is called, shows his Jack 7, and we'll get the bad news. He was drawing almost dead on the flop. He will be the next player to part from our feature table.
$100, yeah.
Davey is waiting.
We struggle.
Struggle hard.
It's not easy.
Smooth call, Davey.
Sam guys in to tell us that we've got.
There's normal service on the Jubilee line.
Bing bong.
This is a customer announcement for everyone on the Jubilee line. That's a limp. That's a limp leader. Yeah. Loving it.
Yeah, are you okay with that?
I'm still. Yeah.
I'll throw an aces every now and again.
I'm checking. I'm probably base, mate.
So Ludo
Seven deuce
with the 7.
It is right in the window.
7 in the window. Oh my God!
Oh wow!
Frado said there it is in the window.
So hang on a sec.
And Jake's
Who was the 40?
Frado was the Frado was the 40.
Oh, so Ludo's in the button, is he? Or the
But Frado said the words when they came. He goes, there it is in the window.
Yeah.
That's how good Frado is. He knew Ludo flopped a set.
So Jake now has the option. I think it's a good check raise because he's got the 8. So he'll have 8, 10, 8, 9 a lot.
Right.
I think with the other jacks, it's probably a better call. So this is kind of the dream spot for Ludo, Jake having specifically Jack 8. We haven't seen Frado's hand, and he's in the tank.
He's looking at his chips.
Other than that, I think he probably just has a jack, which obviously doesn't
It's a
now.
limp pot. Oh, Ludo's doing the old double check of the cards.
This is, by the way, this is just a dream spot. You're in for 3 buy-ins. You're in position against one of your friends on Jack 7 when you know he's either got a jack, which is dead, or he's got the straight draw, which he might hit and he's dead, and you're in position. So this is, I would pay for this spot.
So what you saying? The turn's going to come an 8.
I would pay for this spot.
He's going to assume that Jake's got 9, 10, and he's going to get stacked. Is that
I
what
would.
you're saying?
I would pay money for this spot.
Oh, you would? Would you pay to have a full house in position against trips?
I'd pay more than the pot's worth just to have this spot. It's just too good. It's just too dreamy.
His hands are shaking. Probably hasn't drunk from out.
It's very exciting. And the guy's got you covered.
This could be it. This could be Ludo out of the hole. 6. Of course, Jake has to show some caution, right? If Ludo has a jack, it's better than Jack 8 because he's limped under the gun.
But sure, but if all Jake's bluffs, I think, should continue on this turn card, even though it's a blank.
He has to buy here, but the river's where it's going to be interesting. Right?
Yeah.
If I'd had the balls to actually shove the river
8-9 continues here. 8-10 continues here.
John's talking about the
jack
6-3 hand where he's
here.
like, if I had the balls to reshove the river over your king 5 bet.
You have no heart.
Ludo can do nothing but call. Yeah, and you can use that information in some hands, but I think in this hand it doesn't really apply much. Just because.
Right, or his limit's going to be like Jack 9, Jack Queen.
Yeah, which
10.
might come into his decision on the river, but.
Right, and Ace is not one of those hands. He's,
Yeah.
he's not worried about Ace Jack. Put it that
Have a
way.
lot of draws, don't have my ranges.
And there's absolutely no reason that Jake shouldn't be value betting the river. The best bit is going to be when the raise comes in, and if EPT Triple Crown winner Jake Cody can get away.
Well, he's got the cap on. He's got the earpiece.
He has. He's got.
Telling him. Just check. Oh.
He's got the Mike Postle cap on. What's he said? 1,000.
900, I believe, or 950. There we go. He's bet pretty big here.
Yeah. I think that's a bit. I think that's a bit too big.
I mean, Ludo knows he's good here, right?
Yeah.
There's no.
The problem is, Ludo doesn't have Queen Jack and King Jack because then he just calls.
The other managed to go to the toilet in that hand. Look how smug he is.
The other problem is, what bluffs does Ludo have?
Right, that's
So
7 deuce would be just 2 tilting.
Jake Saucer's made a great point there. 7 deuce would be 2 tilting.
Oh,
this is a great bluff with 7 deuce because he blocks the 7.
And that might be the hand he limps in with, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah,
7
I didn't
deuce.
even think of
You
this.
could limp in with that hand.
This is maybe why he calls.
Look at Jake's face.
That's maybe why he calls now, by the way.
Wow.
I think, and this is rare, without the 7 deuce, he's going to fold. With
You're
the 7
right.
deuce,
It's
it's
a whole
now,
bunch
yeah,
more
yeah.
combos that he has to
And
consider.
also, Demps, 2k to Jake Cody. It's just nothing.
It's like
it's just nothing. He puts 40k on roulette, so his 2k is just whatever, isn't it?
wow, the 7. I didn't even think about that. That's so important here.
I've never seen Ludo with a value hand on the river. This is unbelievable.
I think Jake's gonna get away from it.
I'm not sure.
So we'll see if Jake
Great
calls
fold.
after the
Yeah.
call.
It's a great fold. He has to show a 7.
Show one at a time.
That doesn't help him because he might just think.
There's your 50 for your 7 deuce.
7-7.
He obviously shows he's got 7 deuce.
Those don't have clocks.
Something back here.
Philip Gruesome knows. Time is nearly up for this game, though.
Don't do it. Red, flashing red. It's getting good.
These guys, do these guys look like fine athletes, or do they look like they are done?
Must be a really good hand. Yeah.
Sondheim's smiling, but he can barely move an eyelash. Tuna's sleeping. Tuna is asleep. This man will not play his best poker during this hand. Let's all agree.
Mr. Ronnie Kaiser, ladies and gentlemen. 19 million online.
Little chance here for Stefan maybe to pad his pockets a wee bit more before he leaves.
On 7 different accounts.
Akin with the 10-9 suited.
Did he change his name?
It seems like we're missing a letter. I'm pretty sure it's Ankin.
We had
10 minutes before the end.
No, his name has always been Akin because they've been apparently we've been mispronouncing it. Oh boy!
There's all sorts of scenarios where this goes in. I imagine it's going to go bet call because Akin hasn't got too aggressive with his draws.
Just change his name to Toast.
Ooh, cheeky check.
Ronnie the collude.
Hard for him not to bet when checked too.
What happens if he's playing on his 3 accounts and the rate's just taking all his money?
It's the only way you can win 19 million online. You can't possibly win that.
I'm glad I found out that Akin's last name is Tuna, or else how could we say the tuna melt?
Oh wow!
They like to pain themselves, you know.
Stefan
stupid things, you know.
laying his trap.
And then they like
Check
to give
again.
the pain.
Imagine on
Give it
pretty much
forward,
every turn.
Forward the pain.
You deserve all pay.
That one is going to get him in some trouble.
999.
It's going to be check raise, isn't it?
Yeah, I think if Akin bets it, you just have to check raise because he's only got 41k back, so anything he bets. Can you even lead by the looks of it? No, we can't.
Lead because you don't want to give him a free card with any diamond and a pair, to pocket pair diamonds, something like that.
Yeah, but I mean that is an argument you could make. Is the way Atkins played, he hasn't barreled too many times.
No better. You shouldn't shit there.
But no, you should play it as a check, and he has. And Stefan's got to be a little bit worried because, like I say, Atkins hasn't, you know, bet off too many times in these spots that we've seen. But this hand's so strong.
Well, even if you're never ever folding the river, or you're folding the river if the diamond hits.
That's not a bad one. No, I mean, you're still better off playing as a check call than it is a raise, just because you allow him to bluff. But at the same time, he's just not liking it as you would against lots of other people.
We might put it to the board tomorrow that we should sack him for playing this hand this bad.
And this is Atkins going to shove here, and that's that.
I think
bad for him.
I think we should put big late.
Just like after another cooler, there is one.
Right, he just flops the nuts.
Trying to get us
Yeah.
the fucking king.
Poor guy.
And that's a really rough way to end, because he's had some really great flashes, Akin. But at the end of the day, I just think he was too unlucky in key spots to ever make anything happen.